You know what? I've never been so relieved or so happy to be so wrong about a movie I thought was going to be terrible. What's up, guys, and welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of The Call of the Wild, based off the book from Jack London and is directed by Chris Sanders. So before we begin, please hit that subscribe button if you enjoy my channel for Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find out what's coming next, and comment below on any video that you watch my channel, including this one. So the story of The Call of the Wild is based off a very famous novel by Jack London, and it's read through school, it's read through many millions of people, and it's become kind of a touchstone in American writing. It's about humanism. It's about going against all odds, and it's about finding your place in the world. And that is a very human-like story. But the funny thing is, it's told through the eyes of a dog named Buck, who is a Saint Bernard. And I like the idea of that story. Just to let you know, I did not read the book. I just want to give you a heads up on that. But I like that idea. I know the story well enough to know these types of things. And I was kind of interested in hearing about Chris Sanders doing this film. He had done Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon. It doesn't always work out with animated directors going to live action, but I was still kind of intrigued. And then the trailer came out for this movie, and boy was it bad. Boy was it real bad. So I'm going into this movie, the CGI looks terrible. I'm just like, this movie's gonna be awful because the CGI is gonna be distracting. I know Harrison Ford will give whatever he gives to it because he's usually bored in a lot of these movies because it's just the way he is. But you know what? People in line are like, you know what? Give it a chance. You might enjoy it, and I'm glad they did. But the basic storyline is we have Buck, who is a Saint Bernard dog, and he has some owners who don't really care about him that much. They leave him on the porch when he does a bad thing, and it's just the typical owners of a dog and blah blah blah. But the dog is very smart. He's very precocious. He's very outgoing. But he does dog like things like taking turkey and chicken off a table and stuff like that. But he's basically kidnapped and he ends up in Alaska where he basically goes on a quest or a trials and tribulations moment where he is basically put into a scenario where we have the Omar character who plays this Frenchman who is basically a postal man that uses a sled dog team to go from town to town. And I love that segment because it's really humanistic and it's really fun to watch. And Omar Sy is really fun as the main postal worker and his wife and so on and so forth. There's some really good sequences teaching Buck how to become a better dog and a better leader and so on and so forth. Then it leads into the Dan Stevens and Karen Gillan stuff, which I wasn't a huge fan of. I don't think it works as well because Dan Stevens just comes off of like a complete jerk. But the ideas of the fact that the Harrison Ford characters kind of run into a wall with these two characters, the Cara Gillian and Dan Stevens, to the eventual conclusion where Buck and the Harrison Ford Jack Thompson character kind of become friends and almost soulmates in a way, is where the story really kind of became one and became as wonderful as I was not expecting. And I love what Harrison Ford is doing here. I think he's giving an actual performance for once. And the fact that he and everyone in the story has to go up against a CGI dog and CGI backgrounds, they actually made it kind of work, which is really, really impressive. And I was actually kind of relieved by that. It doesn't mean it's perfect. There are some moments of the dog, the Buck character, some moments of the backgrounds that are a little CG, you can really kind of tell. But when you kind of get invested in the story, when you kind of feel the look and the feel of what Chris Sanders is doing, because he actually got Janusz Kaminski to work on this film. And Janusz Kaminski is a staple of Steven Spielberg. He's actually Steven Spielberg's cinematographer. Janusz Kaminski does some amazing work in this movie with using green screen and backdrops and stuff like that. So it really does work, and it's really kind of beautiful to watch. There are vista shots. There are just looking out in the backgrounds, even though it's really CGI and stuff like that, that just look gorgeous. And when you see Harrison Ford and Buck just sitting there looking out in the skyline, you're just like, oh man, that is just beautiful and it's just exhilarating. That's what this movie is. It's wonderful, it's exhilarating, it's beautiful. It's just a fun story for the whole entire family. This takes the material, as far as I know. I talked to a couple of people afterwards and I asked them, I said, how faithful is this movie to the book? And they said it's pretty faithful. It does change a couple of things, which movies do and books and stuff like that. But I was just really, really surprised by how much I like this movie. I think it's just a fun movie that tugs at your heartstrings. You know, there's a couple times where I had a little bit of tears coming from my eyes. It's just, it was such a shocking relief to have a movie in 2020, because 2020 has not been a very good year for movies, to just kind of just have fun with, just kind of enjoy, just kind of sit back and relax and eat your popcorn and watch the CGI dog, you know, with these other CGI animals and the CGI bear and the CGI wilderness and stuff like that. And really makes you feel like you're in that time frame and that time zone and that time era. And I just really enjoyed it for that. And I just, you know, when you're watching just Harrison Ford do his thing where he's in like a lake or whatever and he's just looking for gold, and you just really feel like that, you know, Harrison Ford just had a good time. I'm really impressed. But I give the credit to the animators and visual effects artists in this movie. They probably saw the reactions to the trailer, and kind of like Sonic the Hedgehog, they really kind of like went full tilt into this movie to kind of fix the problems. Because when you get close-ups on Buck, when you get close-ups on these animals, when you see Buck and how he walks and how he reacts and how goofy and funny he is, it's kind of amazing to watch. I was really impressed at how good the visuals can be in this movie. You know, it was something I was not expecting, and I was so relieved by that. But I give him also a lot of props for how engaging, how amazing Buck was as a character. You know, he really does show some really kind of human emotions. And I love that. I love what he is doing. I love how he interacts with the different people in this world. I love his, like, you know, his innocence when when he gets kidnapped and he starts, you know, experiencing what the wild is like, to the eventual conclusion of him becoming I keep calling him, but the dog becoming a different person. It was so good. The movie's really good. I'm going to be honest with you. It's really fun and really exciting, and don't take this movie for granted. It's just, if you like these types of movies, it actually reminds me a lot of those like 90s like films like White Fang and stuff like that, where it's just something so like nostalgic and so kind of cool and resonant that you will go back and feel like you're kind of like a child while watching this. And I give a lot of props to, like I said, Chris Sanders, who knows how to bring that wonderment out of things. You know, look at How to Train Your Dragon and Lilo and Stitch. There's innocence in these characters that he is so good at bringing out. So this movie is just, it's a wonderful piece of material. It's a wonderful, you know, adaptation to apparently a great book. And it's just a beautiful film. So, you know what? Give this movie a shot. I think you'll enjoy it. If you know, like I said, some of the CGI is a little wonky in some places, but I think you can get by that by just watching how emotive Buck is, how emotive the other animals are, and just the journey that Buck takes throughout this movie. So it's a high recommend for me. That's all I'm going to say. So, but that's it. That's my take on The Call of the Wild. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you think of The Call of the Wild as a book. What do you think of the other adaptations? I think there was one in like 35 and one in 2009. Let me know when you do see this. Also, what do you think about this movie? Do you like it? Do you not like it? All that good stuff. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find out what's coming next. And comment below on any video that you watch, including this one. Otherwise, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for checking out Movie Emporium. I really appreciate it. If you want to, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification button and the bell at the top. Find out what's coming next for Movie Emporium. Also, check out these 2 videos. They're amazing. I think they're awesome. I think you'll enjoy them too. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.